logged out.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jars podcast featuring Caleb
And Seamus,
and Jimmy.
this is Behind the Jar.
And this is our podcast.
Ours, our very first one.
Our very first podcast, yes. Episode 1, yeah.
There goes our podcast virginity.
The cherry has been popped. The cherry has been popped. Okay, well, you want to know what? I think originally we wanted to get the whole band out here, but unfortunately, one guy didn't show up to clean up the rehearsal space.
Other guy had a fucking girlfriend.
Yeah, so it's
Still has one.
Yeah.
That's why he's not here.
So we're left right now with us three, the key members of Jars, I would say. That's what I would say. No shade to Rain or Pat.
The talent, you could say.
Yeah, you could say we're the talent basically, but
Sorry, Rain.
and make sure when you guys speak, you speak into the
Right,
mic.
got it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah. So honestly, I feel like now would be a good time to get to know more about the members of Jars. We can start with actually Seamus. Let's start with Seamus. Why not? Seamus, besides me, has been the oldest member of Jars in terms of how long he's actually been in Jars. But I've known Seamus for a while, and I know he's been in a lot of bands in the past, and he's had his teeth cut in the Vancouver music scene.
Yes.
What kind of bands were you in the past?
The first band I was in, so as you do the Craigslist circuit to get out of the bedroom. That's step one to getting out of your bedroom. Go on Craigslist.
Yes.
I had some weird meetups, some duds where it was like and this was before like I found out about like the Facebook musician groups. I remember one guy, he lived with his grandma, and I don't know, someone says, yeah, come over, we'll jam, blah blah blah. You don't really just expect to end up in like this dude's bedroom being like, okay. Yeah, he lived with his grandma. It was just, get a resume first before you meet up. Get a sample. Don't just say yes to messages. You got to hear a resume. But so after a bunch of meetups like that, it was either weird stuff like that or just replying to bands that were looking for someone more maybe advanced or just a different style. I responded to an ad, and the guy had a whole bunch of demos and great voice. And that was the band that Andy was in. We were called the Split Hearts.
Oh, and Andy is actually Seamus's roommate who does the Champions of Hope posters. So shout out Andy, but please go
Great
on.
visual artist.
Great artist.
And he was the drummer in that band. And we had a solid year of performing and practicing. And it disbanded for reasons I won't discuss here.
Fair.
But yeah, we had to disband. And then it was just kind of odds and ends for a while. Just meeting people, trying to start projects, recording my own stuff. And yeah, maybe I've been playing live for maybe 8 or 9 years-ish now. Something like that.
Cool. Well, out of all the venues you've played at, what do you think is the venue that sticks out most to you in your memory?
In a good way or a bad way?
Let's say a good way. We'll say a good way.
I appreciate a good stage. I appreciate a well lit, just kind of like a professional looking stage. It's nice too when you get on a stage that you've been on the other side of in the audience. Biltmore is like that. You have some pretty okay musicians playing on that stage. So when it's your turn to get up there, it feels like a bit of an accomplishment for sure.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know if you played on the Biltmore before we played at the Biltmore, but I remember when we played there, I went to a show about 2 or 3 months ago at the Biltmore. I watched Haley Hendricks.
Oh, nice.
Amazing artist. And I was talking to my younger sister at the time because she was there with me. I was like, I really want to play here one day. This would be so sick to play here. And then we ended up playing there a few months later, which was definitely like a a huge like, oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Even venues that people like, are tired of playing at or, don't like very much, for whatever reason, even if they have a good soundstage, it's still a good experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I know Caleb was also played live in his past, in his heydays right now.
A couple times.
Few times. But what about you, Caleb? What is a venue that sticks out to you the most? Make sure you speak up. To the mic.
I think my favorite venue has to be the Cobalt.
Nice.
It's got really good acoustics. Every time I've played there, they've always had an amazing sound guy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our last show we did there, they worked with us fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they seemed interested to work with us in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there have been a couple bad ones.
Yeah, I think there's no shortage of like bad experiences at a lot of venues. I think it happens. I think it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I think
Especially starting out.
yeah.
Yeah. They're all
It's not.
they're all drops in the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all like you like kind of you make your way through all the venues. You see which one works for you. A lot of times it depends on the people too.
Yeah.
Sometimes like freaking Johnny behind the soundboard's having a horrible day and he takes it out on the bands and it's like what can you do? People have a bad day sometimes.
And it's after a few shows, you kind of get to the point where it's just that it's just a bad day at the office type thing. Like,
Yeah.
and then you can kind of forget about it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's been some. I know in my past we've had some rough shows just on my own standpoint when I felt like I wasn't singing properly or couldn't hear myself or hurt myself too much. I hate when I hear myself too much. It's like it's always the worst thing. It's
I
like
used to open mic all the time before playing in bands, and I can remember a few experiences where, you get to a certain song in your set, and you open your mouth, and you just forget all of the lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you try not to do is like give up on the song and have to tell people, oh, I guess we're moving on. But if I had that happen to me, just bomb.
And then you're
Yeah.
just sitting there strumming chords going,
Yeah, that just makes you feel so amateur.
no, totally.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the growth experience. I remember when I first started getting into music, like I had a really tough time accepting that there was going to be bad shows.
Yeah.
Like I had like just the idea of having a bad show. I was like maybe sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
And then like we had a couple like honestly I think one of the best shows and one of also like the worst shows like technically speaking was our first show ever at Victory Square.
Oh.
Because so there's this event series which I really love. It's called the Victory Square Events. It's run by James who runs the Buddha on Hastings. And
Didn't you do Smiling Buddha?
sorry?
Didn't you do the Smiling Buddha or something?
Smiling Buddha, yeah, Buddha 109 Hastings, yeah, Smiling Buddha, yeah. So he runs a bunch of stuff for the music scene. Everyone really knows him. But we got that show because I sent him our quote unquote demos, and these demos were literally my phone propped up next to my
those ones that I heard.
microphone speaker with Rain. With I think it was Rain and our lead guitarist at the time just jamming and playing over these songs. You could barely hear anyone. It was super muffled. It was just the lowest bottom feeder recorder you could possibly get. And I was like, "Hey man, like we have this music. We'd love to be able to play." Like shaking my like bucket in my hand, like, "Give me a show, please, sir."
Just a crumb.
just a crumb, yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, you guys sound sick. Like, I'll have you guys on." So then we went on. We played that show, and I remember, I think it was like the song after. We had my pedal board just cut out, and the power to the whole stage just cut out, and the whole set got like just cut immediately.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I was not expecting this for this to happen. We were like kind of scrambling around. We fixed it. Everyone's power was back, and then we continued playing the song, and then it happened right after again, and it was just me and my guitar. And then luckily, shout out Seamus and Rain, they kept the backbeat going the entire time while I was figuring out what was happening. And then luckily, when I got my stuff back working again, then we came back in at the exact same part that we left off with the backbeat going the entire time. So I think people were kind of like, "Oh, is this like part of this song? Like this is crazy."
Cool.
Yeah. This guy looks like really frantic on stage. I don't know if this is part of the song. Yeah, but that was like definitely like one of the like when I went through that, I was like, damn, I don't know how it can get much worse, but you know, we got through it
Yeah.
and people had a good time.
Can never practice too much.
No, I remember that's what I said when we first started out was like we have to practice as much as possible because the more we prepare, the less likely there would be to be a bad show.
The first show I played with Ear in November, we had a whole bunch of problems.
Which show was that?
At the Wolf Bar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
a couple
remember
months
that.
ago.
That was the one we came to watch,
Yeah,
right?
in Maple Ridge.
The Wolf Bar.
Yeah, the one that you, Pat, Caleb, and
Or I think
came out to see me
did
play
Pat?
guitar.
Oh yeah, no, Pat
Yeah,
did
Pat was
come.
there.
Oh, when you played with
Yeah,
Ear.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Was there a lot of problems?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
with
his
your
amp was cutting out. The
I-
bassist.
I had the
His
power
shit
come out
kept-
on one of my pedals, and I was
Yeah.
getting any signal through. Well, I was supposed to, like in the middle playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. No, I remember.
So-
Actually, oh yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
You guys
So-
handled it really well, though.
You want to know what? Like, if you want,
panicking.
if you guys want to hear some like crazy ass music, like some very technically sound music, listen to Ear.
Ear. Coming to an ear near you.
Yeah. We watched them. We came over. The whole band came over to see him, and yeah, it was kind of cool. They all had jumpsuits on, which was pretty sick.
Yeah, flight suits.
Yeah, flight suits. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, yeah, bad things happen. It's out of your control. I guess. I think a lot of the times you gotta accept how powerless you are over certain things. It's like you can practice as much as possible, but you can't like prepare for like a mic blowing out in the middle of your set.
Yeah, part of the experience. I don't know if it's just the prophecy of the first show, but everyone's gonna like have some issue for sure.
And I mean, the more it happens, the more you figure out what to do when it happens.
Yeah.
Check your power.
Yeah.
Or like replace your cables when you
Yeah,
can. Like you have to do stuff like that. Yeah, I remember this bad thing that I had was that I really didn't want my strings to break on my guitar. So I put like a fresh pack of strings on like 2 days before the show.
So tuning.
Oh.
And had not played,
Oh.
and it just jumped out of tune in the middle of these like swells that I do in like the song 22, and I could just hear it. And I was like, "Oh my god!" And I just like played it out of tune. I felt so bad.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like once you're playing, you can't stop.
Yeah, I can't be like,
That's-
"Hold up, guys! Sorry, just hold your
that's-
attention spans that are already probably fried."
For me, it's the most annoying during rehearsals because, like, I'll be playing and then the heater will warm up my guitar and then it just starts going out of tune
Yeah.
and it's the only thing out of tune. Oh,
Now you don't have a whole bunch of trash pushing you towards the.
yeah.
You know what? That segues perfectly, actually. So we have this space. We'll put in some clips in this video showing the space and everything.
Time lapse in there.
Yeah, the time lapse and everything. Yeah, we call it Trash Kingdom because when we first started rehearsing here, this is Seamus's garage. It was filled with just trash, just like
It was recycled.
yeah, it was recycling and like odds and ends that
Yeah.
you know. Seamus is like me when like you have some things and you like don't want to throw it away, so you put it away, being like I'll probably use this down the line or something like that, and then it usually never gets used. At least for me, that's what it's like.
It's called a hoarder.
Well, with the recycling, I planned on going to the ball depot and getting some money, and then it was just like, you know, once the pile of recycling is taller than you are, you kind of have you're at a fork in the road. It's like, do you want to go down the right path or the wrong path?
Yeah. After the fourth bag of clear cans, just being like, all right.
Yeah, we
I
won't
think
go
it's
into too
time.
much detail, but it was pretty horrific.
Yeah. There was some stuff there, but luckily, I think it was good that we all came together today. We cleaned up the space. We went to the dump. We got rid of some cans. The cans, actually, funny enough, we took it to the bottle depot and realized you had to get like an account and everything to go there. And we're like, okay, we'll go to the actual in-person bottle depot.
Huh.
We go there, and then me and Rain say that you have to sort everything out, and we have like 8 bags of cans. And then me and Rain are like, yeah, we're not doing this. So then I was like, Rain, just leave them out of my house. We have this guy that comes by. He'll
Oh,
take some
okay.
cans. I'll take some back too as well and get some
I'm
money.
surprised somebody there who's already sorting their own stuff. Like, you want 8 more
Dude.
bags?
Oh my god, we should have done
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That would have been a genius idea. What the hell?
Like, hey man, you want to make $50? There you go.
Oh, that's actually great. Damn, I didn't realize that. Yeah, but no, the space looks really clean now.
Yeah.
Very open floor sort of concept going on right now.
It's so much bigger than I thought it was when I first came in here.
Yeah, once you get everyone crammed in here with all that like stuff that was there, it's like it seemed really small, but then now it's like everything's kind of off the floor and stuff, and it looks really good now. So, and the one like kind of cool thing about this space is that we had a heater, and I think we didn't have like a plug nearby, and the drummer is the electrician, so he decided to strip down the wires of the heater.
Don't say that. He did a very good job placing that fully and legally to code.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, he ended up stripping the wire to do it. He found out that it wasn't actually safe enough, so he had to do it in an even more safe
more
way.
safety feature.
Yeah.
No, he just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. So yeah, we have the space heater there that luckily only heats me, Seamus, and Caleb, and Ray, the one who set it up, has to freeze in the back of the garage. So sorry about that, Ray. We love you, bud, but we gotta stay warm for our fingers, you know.
Well, we got that heat lamp now too.
Yeah, now we found a heat lamp actually in the whole process, and see, good things do come to people who come together and help out. Yeah, so. But yeah, the space is clean now. You know, we have hopefully some big things on the way with Jars. We are in the process right now of recording an album. Yep. And I guess now I'll sort of ask, like, I'll ask you, and then I'll start with Caleb because I started with Seamus before.
Okay.
So Caleb, you have been in the band like the shortest amount of time besides Pat, who Pat has just joined. And you came in and you were like really like in it. You were like writing things down, getting through with all the songs, like taking notes and asking for feedback. And like, I'd personally never worked with anyone who was like so open to feedback. And so
that's what happens when you have both your parents growing
up. It was really annoying at first, actually.
Yeah.
I kept asking, like, you specifically, Rain, he'll just tell you whatever the fuck's on his mind. You'll keep your mouth shut until you have something to say. Yeah, and when you have something to say, it's usually really fucking valuable.
Yeah, I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah. But then there would be times where your face would be like, I don't like that. But then you would be like, man, that sounds lit. And I'm just like, dude, come on.
Like with my face being like, this sounds because it's like sometimes I will like hear things that I know I don't really like, but I like some things about it.
Right.
And I find it hard to put it into words of like what I actually don't like about it. But usually I try to give the impression off of like there's something there. You just gotta kind of keep looking.
You've gotten a lot better like at figuring out how to speak to me in that way of you've gotten a lot better at like telling me where it's not working.
Yeah. And you want to know why? It's because I've worked with musicians in the past who have been hard to deal with in the sense of giving feedback, where like sometimes you feel like you have to like kind of walk on eggshells and like
they're bad at accepting.
They're bad at I think sometimes people take criticism as an attack on character because art is so important to people.
And I mean, you are putting your heart and soul into it.
100%, and I totally understand that too. But it's like hard to go from like having that kind of person and then having Caleb who's like, what can I do better? Like, here's all these things that I'm doing and stuff like that. So with that being said, you've had like, you know, some time with the music. You've had some time to really kind of delve into it. So like, how do you feel about our music?
Good.
There we have it.
No, I really like our sound. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. I mean, Rain keeps calling it rockabilly shoegaze.
I think that's a joke because Aaron told him that.
I'll say, like, when people ask, I'll say classic rock influence with a bit of Americana, pop, and some shoegaze.
Jesus.
But, yeah, people usually give me a weird look when I give that answer. But yeah, to answer your question, how do I feel about our music? I really like our process of making music. I love the way we kind of shit on our creations as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no one's really sensitive about what they do for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's super important. I think like coming into it with like less of a, like you're married to the way things sound.
Yeah.
Because that's how, when I first started the band, I really want to like come into it with that mindset is that I have these songs, but like they're not my song, so to
Yeah.
speak, right? Like I want to be able to have everyone come in on it and add their own sort of thing to it, because I don't like the idea of like me personally owning something I created creatively, because like who gave me that song? Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know how that song came to me, like or what really made it just go onto paper and become like an actual song.
Yeah.
So it's like for me to be like, this is my song now. Like it's like, it seems like kind of weird for me to get super like strict about how things should sound. Like I have an idea of how I want things to sound, and then I'm like, we should try it like this. And if it sounds good, cool. And if it doesn't, then we'll find something else.
There's something Rain said to me pretty early on when I was asking for a lot of feedback, where he was like, what you're playing works, but it's not really adding anything to the song. I think it was for Somewhere Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was a really good piece of advice, because I was able to kind of shift my mind from, okay, what can I play that's going to sound cool, to what's going to benefit the song the most.
100%.
And I think that helped me kind of find my pocket in the band.
100%. Yeah. And I think me and Ray were talking about that a lot when we first started, is like trying to be of service to the song than of like of service to your own way of playing.
Right.
And that, I think that can be a super hard thing to do, like no matter what type of person you are, because like you want to play what you want to play, right? It's what's fun and it's what's good.
Yeah.
It's also what's familiar.
100%.
I was in a band for about 4 years, and the lead guy, he was very much like that. Like he had a vision that he wanted you to, like, help bring to fruition, I guess you could say. And it's one way to get things done for sure. If you have an exact thing that you want people to do, as long as you are organized and have your own shit together, it can, it can work, but you end up not really feeling like you're part of the fabric of the band. You feel more like you're a session.
You're an
musician.
employee, not a...
Like you're hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a session musician would be.
Totally.
Like
totally.
you come in for this period of time, and you're going to play this, and it needs to be this of this caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I try to like conceptualize it is like talking about having a stake in something. Like when you're putting a tent up, like you put a stake down so it holds a specific part of the tent up. And like I would rather be in a band where like people have a stake in the music. Like they have something that like adds to it and is like sort of a staple in it, as opposed to like, here's what I want you to do and you got to do it this way.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, you just feel like you're a hired gun essentially. Yeah. Hired gun, yeah. Hired something.
Fun for a bit, for sure.
Yeah.
You're part of something. You're playing live. You like the music, playing with other good musicians. But, I think eventually you feel like you want more.
Yeah. I think it definitely depends on like the person who comes in and like wants to, whether they want to just like show up and play or like show up and like create.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit of a harder thing, but
yeah.
And then also I feel like running a band demands so much in so many different arenas that if you have a group of people who are willing, it's a lot easier than just doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like I think everyone's able to be like an at-home producer, an at-home musician, So it's like it's really easy to be able to do that.
Yeah, everyone has a studio in their bedroom.
Yeah, totally. But now it's like, I think because of that, it can be a bit harder to collaborate with people because I think you're kind of used to like having control of every aspect and stuff. And I think there's good and bads to everything.
Yeah.
Right? There's always goods to that because people are able to create music that is like most authentically themselves.
Yeah.
I think one thing we have going in our favor kind of on that topic is we all have similar tastes in music.
Yeah. There's the Venn diagram intersects in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I for some reason have a really never got into like the classic rock, like the like the 90s rock or like the 80s rock. Like for some reason, I like never got into that.
The Rolling Stones don't get you going.
That's I have like one cassette of them, and I really like the Rolling Stones for
Okay,
like that,
okay.
like the
Give Me Shelter.
yeah, the opening song or something like that. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why that's those like that music never hit with me. It took a while for some of it to hit. Like it took a while for me to like get into Nirvana, and it took a while for me to get into like even like Led Zeppelin. I don't listen to that much Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I feel like when you're growing up, if there's people in your life that you want them to like you, you
Mhm.
try to like things that they like.
Yeah.
So, say if you have like older siblings and you like look up to them and they like this style of stuff, and you're like trying to get into it, or you meet new friends and they're like, "Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this?" You're like, "No," and then you go home and listen to all of it, and then you come back like, "Oh, that was awesome! Like,
Yeah, yeah,
100
yeah.
love this band now."
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Like
influence
when
is
you're
a
a
big
teenager or
thing.
a kid.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. That's how music spread around back in the day. It was like
Yeah.
all through word of
Yeah.
mouth, people handing someone else a CD
Yeah.
or be or
You
like
just feel weird when they ask you, "Oh, have you listened to Led Zeppelin yet?" You're like, "No." I'm like, "What?"
yeah, yeah. I'm like, wait, what?
It's like,
Led
shit,
Zeppelin 4?
I'm behind.
I'm behind on the times, man. Yeah, that's funny because I
About
think
50 years behind.
50 years too late. No, I think because that's a good point actually. Because when
Yeah.
I grew up, I was like a very like sort of lone wolf, so to speak. So I didn't like spend that much time with too many people. It was mostly to myself. So I ended up listening to really like not weird music, but like music people my age like weren't really listening to. I don't mean that like, oh, I'm so cool and underground, but in like soft classical music or like Patrick Watson or
Oh.
just like or even Shaky Graves. Like I listened to
Yeah.
his like live sessions like on repeat when I was in like ninth grade on my headphones. And like, people like, and I think a lot of people were into rap at the time. And then when I got into like grade 11, 12, that's when I got really into like rap and like trap
yeah.
music
Oh,
and
yeah.
started to
Yeah.
really like that stuff because everyone else
Yeah.
really liked it. And
Yeah.
I gave it a shot. And I was like, yeah, this shit hits.
Yeah. Yeah. That was happening to me as well. I think when I was 12 years old, my aunt gave me the Eminem show. I was all about it at the time.
Nice. Nice.
For some reason, when you're that age, I mean, you're just listening to like hardcore hip hop and rap for some reason.
No, 100%. My favorite one was Kendrick Lamar,
Oh,
like
yeah.
A Good Kid,
Yeah.
Mad City.
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah, I still think it's like one of my top albums ever.
Yeah.
Because I used to listen to it front to back when I was working at McDonald's. I used to like put myself in that life, be like, yeah, this is but it's like not true at all. Like, I grew up poor, but I didn't grow up in like a town that was like super deadly or anything like that. But it's good. I think that's when you know art is good.
Yeah.
Is when you can put yourself in that person's shoes
Yeah.
and feel what they're feeling. That's when I think is like art can be really really good. But yeah, I guess with that question too, like, Seamus, you've been in the band for a bit now. Like, how do you
Grandfather of the band.
the grandfather of the
Yes.
band? Yeah, Seamus is technically the oldest by age, but he does not look the oldest by far.
Yes.
I would say like Rain's up there with looking the oldest.
I'm gonna be honest. I totally thought you were the oldest.
Okay, Caleb, no, dude.
Aging like milk over there.
I know, dude. I'm just like rotting away right now. But yeah, how do you feel about the music now that you've had some time to
You know what helps me
digest it?
formulate how I feel about the music is when we play it live and seeing how people feel about the music.
Yeah.
That really influences my opinion if we're doing something right or something wrong.
And being on stage, it makes you self-conscious in a different way.
Oh yeah, I can't even look at people now. I need to start wearing sunglasses or something. But yeah, when you see like the crowd dancing, or like at our last show at the Cobalt, when we're like, okay, we're done, and people just start yelling out song titles like, play this one, play this one, play this one.
Screaming encore, that
Yeah.
was pretty
And
awesome.
it's like, man, people are starting to know the music and they want to hear these songs.
We don't even have an album out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 3 songs out. I think we're one of the bands out there that's played the most but has the least out.
Building our audience.
Yeah, we're just building our audience before we
We'll
can
release
actually.
an album and have no one buy it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a
Peop-
good thing.
People like it, which helps me understand the music is good.
Yeah,
Yep, I like playing it. I like the songs. then seeing that transcend into people listen to it as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
100%, man. 100%. No, I like that a lot because, like, I think even to this day, I still feel like I write shit songs. And I'm like, who would like this song? Like, who would ever enjoy this song?
Yeah.
And then, like, you see people, like, really liking it. Or even when I show you guys and you guys like it. Like, some of the songs that we play, like, I never thought they would see the light of day. And I would just, like, play it to you guys and be like, yeah, that's a good song. And I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I think about that book that you lost in when you returned that guitar to Lon McQuaid.
Dude, yeah.
And your book was in the case.
I
and you went back
know.
for it, and then someone was like, nope, haven't seen it. These songs were really good, so you're not getting that back.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know Caleb was that story, but yeah, Seamus basically said it. Like, I rented this guitar from Long McQuaid. The gig bag had like a front pocket in it, and I would like take the guitar out and like write songs in different places and everything. And I had this like really thick notebook. It was really nice that I bought from like Banyan Books.
Oh,
and I filled it with like a bunch of songs. Like there was probably like 50 or so songs in there, something like 25 to 50 songs. And then I returned the gig bag, and then I called Long McQuaid being like, hey, like I'm pretty sure I left like a notebook like in the gig bag. And they're like, no, we don't see that there, but there's a capo here. And I was like, oh no, they didn't say there's a capo there. They said no. And I was like, okay, I also think I left the capo there. Like, no, I don't think I have it. We can give you one for free if you want. And they just gave me a capo, and I was just like,
but my book.
But my book is like of precious songs.
Does the free capo like solidify the fact that they did find a capo? Like, oh, we probably owe this kid a capo. Here,
That's basically what it was. Like, you probably did lose it. Here you go.
Dude, watch in like 10 years, you're going to find someone singing those songs.
Oh,
I know,
my
dude. That'd be so
God.
heartbreaking. But dude, I was so distraught when I lost that
Oh,
book.
yeah.
I was like, I felt so
Well,
so
you're
upset.
starting all over.
I know, and I
right?
was like, fuck, man. Like, there were some songs in there that like
Like,
could have been good. I don't know because I never.
How many songs did you have in there?
Like probably around 25 to 50 songs. something
Oh,
like
that hurts.
like imagine your hard drive full of everything you've been working on for the past 5 years just blowing up, and you lose all your recordings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sucks because like I think in terms of like things that I want to do with music, it's like I don't really care about being like a guitar like virtuoso.
Right.
Like I care about like singing well and like writing good songs. Like writing good songs is like top of my list of things I want to do better. So like when I lost all those songs, I was like, fuck, man. Like
There's a quote I heard. I can't remember who said it, but it was kind of like people would rather listen to a good song with an okay guitar solo than like a bad song with a great guitar solo.
you know,
Which makes you understand that, you know, it's about the core of the song and not how many notes you're playing, how fast you're playing them.
I think the one exception to that is Jimi Hendrix, because he has a couple songs where it's
Yeah,
like just what the fuck is going on? But I mean, the guitar is fucking great, so it's worth listening to.
like lyrically, you
Like,
mean?
yeah, lyrically, I'm just like, what?
I guess like anything, there are exceptions, right? But
Yeah.
generally, people want to listen to a song that makes them, you know, makes them like it.
Yeah.
That's for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking A. But no, I guess that's a good question for you guys too. Like, what do you think makes like a song connect with you? Like, what to you when you like think of a song, just lyrically speaking? Like, what do you think makes it good to you personally?
I listen to the vocal first, not even what they're saying, just how they're making me feel with how they sing.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you go to add a song to your favorites, sometimes it takes 15 seconds and you're like mashing that like button.
Yeah.
And for me, it's usually the singer.
No, totally. Yeah, melody is a big thing. I think style is singing too.
Yeah.
Like the person that always comes to mind when I think of like style of singing and like immediately connecting with it is like Elliott Smith. Like as soon as you hear him sing, like the way he like his whisper sort of singing, it's always you hear it and it's like just sounds so heartbreaking. And then you hear what he's actually saying, and it just sounds even more heartbreaking.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
This
and
is
then like
double depressing.
yeah. And then with Elliott Smith, it's like he sings really, really like hauntingly beautiful,
Yeah.
and he writes
Yeah.
really, really hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you hear how he plays guitar, and you're like, dude, this guy's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like he plays guitar so well.
Yeah.
I remember this video. It's like in it's like 20 megapixels only. Like the videos are such bad quality, but he's showing how he writes songs. And
Oh, okay.
it's literally like gibberish, because I think he just like he has that like, I don't want to say talent, because I think talent is just like a product of hard work.
Right.
But I think he's worked so hard to the point where like a lot of these things just kind of come to him, and then he's able to just like write these beautiful songs. Because his big thing was chords, like it wasn't like specific notes or like letters. It was like his actual hand shape on the fretboard, and that's how he would like direct his songwriting. It's like where his hand would move and what shape sounded the best to him.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's a good thing, the way people sing. Yeah. What about you, Caleb?
For me, lyrically, it's difficult because when I'm listening to songs, unless it's the singer like enunciates really, really clearly, I have to focus really hard to hear what they're saying. But if I know the lyrics to a song, or if the singer is really clear in how they talk, I think it's got to be something that connects directly to an experience in my life. Like, there's this one Willie Nelson song that I've been listening to a lot lately called Are You Sure? And it's from one of his earlier albums. I don't actually know I'm pretty sure he wrote it. And yeah, it's just kind of this slow, long question of, is this a crowd you really want to be around? And like, is this the right are you making the right life decisions for you? And I don't know. There are a few spots in my life where I'm able to kind of apply that song.
Yeah, I find as I get older, I listen to the words more. As I get older, I feel like I'm more in touch with my emotions. And someone will say something and just like a punch in the gut.
Yeah. I find if I hear a song that really connects with me emotionally, even happy songs, I'll go and look up the lyrics for that very reason.
No.
But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I think for me, like when I was younger, I like always connect to certain specific songs, like very specific albums or songs. And then like I never really understood like why. And then it wasn't until like I got a bit older that I would like come back to this music, listen to what the person's saying, and then like connect it to like what I was feeling internally at that moment, and be like, oh, that makes like a lot of sense, right? For me, like picture storytelling is a big thing for me. Like I've been trying to like experiment with the idea of like how can I put like the things I'm feeling into like words that like impact people enough so that they can like experience what I'm feeling.
Right.
And like when I listen to like an artist, like right now the person I'm listening to a lot that does that really well for me is like Ali Dean, who like opened up for our show at the Cobalt.
Yeah.
She has like an incredible album out. It's called Shallow Water. Like definitely check it out if you can. But I think just like the things that she says and like mixed with the actual sounds of the music, like paint like such a like beautiful picture.
Yeah. Her voice is so good too.
Yeah, her voice is incredible.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And like when you hear that stuff and like hear like the like simple lyrics, and like it's like a punch in the gut essentially.
She played a Dolly Parton cover at our show. That was my favorite song that she played. I don't know Dolly Parton at all, except for
Was it the Christmas song?
the hits. No, maybe
Yeah.
it could have been.
Okay, yeah.
But that just once I heard her play that, I was like, okay, she's kind of a Goliath, like really good.
Yeah. No, totally.
Her last song was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Like I thought that could have been a showstopper right there. Just all right, boys, pack her up. We're not even gonna play.
Yeah, that was a tough thing when she played because it was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, how are we going to follow up? And then like you realize that like different music,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like it's gonna be different
Yeah.
for people. People connect it with regardless. But
Yeah.
the song that really got me that she played it's called Mother Whale,
Mm.
and she was playing it when it was just the keyboard and like her backup people
Yeah.
singing like the
Harmony,
harmonies. That song is like so beautiful, and like Rain. When I was with him, he was like closing his eyes. He's like, I felt like I was just like in like a field of like tulips or something. And like that's and like when you listen to that song on the recording, like I can't make out what she's saying. I can barely make out what she's saying. But like the way, like the melody that she picks and the way she sings it just like punches you in the gut.
Yeah. Yeah.
SOB by Nathaniel Rateliff. That's another good example of that. Like the way he screams, "Son of a bitch, give me a drink." I can totally imagine a belligerent
vibe.
alcoholic. Yeah, very different vibe. But
Son of a bitch!
no, like
Give me a drink.
the way he sings it, it paints such a clear picture in my mind
Yeah.
where I can see a belligerent alcoholic throwing his fist down, demanding another drink.
I saw him open for City and Color last year. I can't find some of the songs that he played. Like, I just don't know
Really?
what to. I'd have to listen to like every song and every
I
album to
hate that
find
when
it.
that happens.
But his show was so fucking good.
yeah,
So good. If he comes to town, I know you'll go. We gotta go.
definitely.
yeah.
We gotta go.
definitely. I'm super down for that. Yeah.
I want to say one more thing about Ali's show. I was sitting outside with Pat during her set having a smoke.
Yeah.
Well, he was smoking. And there's like some people walking down the street and they're thinking about going to the Cobalt. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, what's going on there tonight?" And he like peeked inside. Like they didn't talk to us, but he peeked in the door, went back to his friends, and like, "Oh, it's just some like chill, like I don't know, guys." And I was like, "Well, it's really good. You could just go inside and
Check it out, man.
have your heart melt."
Yeah, check it out. Yeah. My heart was melted, and like, before she even like played at the show, like when she asked to play, I was like, I knew her because she was the front person of Sleepy Gonzalez,
Right, Sleepy.
and I love Sleepy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So I was like, hell yeah, like I'm so down. And I listened to her actual album in depth, and it was insane. Yeah, I got super emotional when she agreed to play, and I started listening to her music. But yeah, no, I think for me, like how people paint pictures, how they bring you into their own emotions, I think that's super important for me, lyrically speaking, at least.
Shaky Graves, he does a really good job of that as well.
Yeah, he does, and like they're. The song that I was actually listening to on repeat when I was in like grade 9 was like Word of Mouth. Like the
No way.
audio tree version. I was listening to that like in English class,
Oh yeah.
like just on repeat.
I'm trying to learn right now. I'm not trying to learn. I'm trying to feel, teacher.
English, dude. I'm speaking English right now. But no, yeah, like his storytelling in that song is like incredible.
Yeah, his show was really good too.
Yeah.
He played one song I wish I could find again.
I know all the songs he played.
Yeah.
You gotta let me know. I can find the song immediately.
I'm always amazed by his range.
His vocal range.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He has like a very like, it's like the only way I can describe it is like an aged voice. Like it sounds like
But it's
really-
effortless at the same
like
time.
effortlessly like aged like whiskey. Like that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like. Like he has like low undertone rasp. Like it sounds like he sings from his soul.
Yeah.
And he's probably the number one guy that's inspired me from the get go. Like there'd be no like the band that I helped start, like Jars. I don't think there would be that band if it wasn't for Shaky Grace. Like I would never have pursued music if it wasn't for him. He's been a huge inspiration to me. But yeah, like his songwriting too is amazing. And there's another song that he has an acoustic version of that he played that night. It's called "Was Here."
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So there's it's called "Was Here," and he has like a
It's just on his own, right? Near the.
no. He did that. I don't think he played that song that night actually.
He wrote during COVID or something. You said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a live version of him playing that. It was just him and his guitar. He's playing like a 9-string guitar, which is super weird.
Oh.
Did he build it?
Yeah, he built it along with his suitcase drum. Like, but yeah, it's one of those songs that you hear and it's just like, damn, like it's fucking like I wish I would have wrote that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that feeling when you like hear something, you're like, fuck, like I wish I did that, right? But it's like one of those you hear that and you're just grateful that music exists because you're able to listen to that stuff.
Yeah.
Was it Shaky Graves that did To the Bone?
Roll the Bones.
Roll the Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Like,
That was one of
the-
those songs that was just like, holy fuck,
I
how can this exist?
I think that was his breakout tune.
That was his
No
breakout
way.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I'm old enough to remember.
yeah. The weird thing about his whole journey is that he actually blew up on like Bandcamp.
Oh,
Like that's how he got a huge following. Is that
he still do that?
yeah,
No
like
way.
he like so he has this album out called Roll the Bones.
Yeah.
And it's completely recorded on like a 4-track cassette recorder
Oh,
over the
yeah.
span of like 4 years. So he was like traveling around the States, living in different places, and he would just like record these songs, and everything sounds like super fucking lo-fi,
Yeah.
like super like not produced. Like a lot of the drums on his songs are him just like slapping his knees and clapping his hands and everything. And him doing, he's like really good at harmonies
Yeah.
too, which is like also crazy. But he like released it as like a lo-fi folk album, and then someone from the Bandcamp team like
Yeah.
heard it and then put it on the front page as like a staff pick, and then it was up there for like I think over a year of just being like one of the top albums on Bandcamp.
No way.
And then that's how he kind of took off, and then everyone started seeing his live stuff was like suitcase drum and him playing guitar, and everyone was like, "This guy's crazy." Like, the way I found out about him was through a Reddit subreddit called "Listen to This," and at the time it was like a super small subreddit. It was like 20,000 subscribers. Like now it's like over like 4 million.
Damn.
But like at that time it was like super low.
You were in on the ground floor.
I know. That's what being a homebody is when you're a kid, man. You gotta find
Ground floor of everything.
you gotta find weird corners of the internet to fucking sit in. But yeah, there's this guy being like, "Oh, this guy sounds sick," like he's playing a suitcase drum or something. And I listened to him and I was like immediately blown away. Yeah.
Have you listened to Nebraska by Bruce Springsteen?
No.
That was also on a 4-track. I think it's actually in the PS4 there. You can just eject it and it won't play it, but
Yeah.
it lives in there.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I think to tell a story, 4 tracks is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah. Elliott Smith, that you mentioned before, has, I think his first album, Roman Candle, was also on a 4-track.
Yeah.
I had one more in my mind, just on the tip of my tongue, but 4 tracks.
It's good, man. I bought one and they're super sick. Like super good. I love it.
I think I have an old Tascam 8-track,
Cassette
like
eight-
a portable.
like a Porta Studio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sick. Oh my god, that's so
I'm
dope.
afraid to turn that thing on because I was given to me in like 2014, and I don't know what's on there. I don't know what's on there.
Oh, dude, you have to listen to it. Oh my god, that could be a piece of history right there.
Yeah, I have some laptop recordings from when the riots happened, 2010
Yeah.
riots.
So,
No way.
I have an old SoundCloud with some laptop recordings on there. It's just kind of like every now and then I listen to them, I'm like, man, I've come a long way.
That's so sick. I love putting music out there and like just leaving
Yeah.
it, letting it do its thing. It's just like, even if no one listens to it, it's like you just put it out there just cause, right? But yeah, 4 tracks are sick. I love how like just rudimentary they are. Like you have to just like play.
Oh yeah,
Sing directly. Like there's no real processing or anything like that. Like you can't bounce things on the
Yeah.
laptop.
less is more.
It's true.
Less
It's
is
true.
more.
That's where like good songs can really shine too. It's like with the less stuff happening.
Yeah.
I think there's, I don't want to call it a trend, but I've noticed over the past like 10-ish years, there are a lot more people getting popular doing as much as they can with as little as possible. Like take Oliver Anthony, for example. He's on like the top country charts right now, and he got big from a Samsung phone recording.
Oh my god.
Nice.
There's a few people that have done that where the phone, like it was Bon Iver. Bon Iver recorded it on something real crappy in like some cabin.
Yeah, he
isolated.
recorded it on a single SM58. His entire album.
That's
He
crazy.
used one
Damn.
microphone. Yeah.
But yeah, some people have come into the public domain just through their freaking cell phone.
I've been pretty impressed just like recording our rehearsals on my phone at how good that quality is, like just onto the voice memos app.
Ear has a GoPro that they use.
Mm.
Good. Really good. They have like like an old Boss Porta Studio.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 2 built in mic.
Damn.
So good.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it goes to show that you don't really need like all the bells and whistles these days to make good music.
I just read that Billie Eilish's first album was recorded on a sub $1,000 setup, sub $1,000 setup.
Damn, no way.
Respect,
That
Billy.
bitch is famous.
Shout out,
Made the bitch famous.
shout out to Billy, man, dude. Billy and Phineas are a complete power duo, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's always like I think when I first got into music, like you experience like they call it gas. But it's like gear.
Oh, like you're like hot?
No, like
you're on fire?
no, like gear acquisition syndrome.
Oh.
where like you have all these things and you like swear if you buy this one pedal, man, like I'll sound way better, bro. And like you
totally.
negate like practicing because you just need this one pedal, bro. And you realize that like you don't really need to do any of that stuff. Like you just need to like practice what you're doing right now.
I will say maybe the one caveat to that are electric instruments.
Like
Like I bought my first really like $2,000-ish electric guitar 3 years ago.
oh yeah.
If anything, it's just so comfortable. You know, the pickups sound great, but it's just a dream to play.
Oh dude.
Yep.
I remember when I first was learning guitar, I was learning on this like this classical guitar that was like cracked on the neck and it was like bent up and like the action was like so high. And I was gonna go back to my home in like Victoria at the time, and I had this really nice Fender black guitar that I bought like years before, saying I was gonna learn guitar, but I never actually did. And I was like, oh, I just can't wait to get to that guitar, man. And as soon as I got it, man, I was blown away at how easier it was to play, how better it sounded. I was like, damn, this is crazy, man.
Kind of reminds me of like being in Long McQuaid, and sometimes when you're in there, you get into a bit of a difference of opinions with the staff. And I remember I was buying that red acoustic that I have, and I was talking to the guy, and I can't remember how the conversation started, but basically I was like, you should learn on a bad instrument, it'll make you better. And he's like, I completely disagree. You should play an instrument that you like, and you like it, it's gonna feel good, you're gonna want to keep playing it, and you're gonna get better. I'm like, yeah, you made a lot of sense there. Like maybe don't give someone for their first guitar like one you found lying against a dumpster outside.
Yeah.
That was someone's trash.
I would shoot him in the foot and be like, run a mile. Come back to me. Yeah.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, I played on a rubber band in a tissue box.
Your kids these days got too good.
No, but yeah, having the nice gear to start off is super important, I think. But yeah, when I bought my first like
Nice enough, anyway.
nice enough, yeah.
And like you also have to figure out what you need and then figure out how to use that before you go buy other stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've luckily never had enough money to have gas gear acquisition syndrome.
Well, you can dream of gas.
Yeah, I can dream of gas.
We all dream of gas.
But I have a friend who got a guitar, got a pedal, started getting more pedals, had all these cool effects, didn't really have any particular sounds he liked to do, just had cool effects, and never really learned the guitar. And he spent like $2,500 in total.
Respect, man.
So
just on the pedals.
he bought that package anticipating to learn, like with all that at once?
No, so he got a guitar and a guitar and an amp, and then he started getting pedals.
Oh, like right away.
And then he started getting more pedals and
interesting.
just never learned the guitar.
Maybe he's more of like an electronic musician at heart.
Maybe. I mean, I went through that with like audio plugins for recording software.
Oh my
Man, you'll go
God.
broke on audio plugins.
I mean, and you can find so much for free.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I found so much for free, and then I was just overwhelmed with shit I didn't know how to use.
Shout out Valhalla Reverb.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Or what's the company that makes Serum?
Oh, I don't know, but I know Serum.
They have this other,
Universal Audio.
might be Universal Audio, but they have this other plugin called LFO Tool.
What's it called?
LFO Tool stands for Low Frequency Oscillator,
Oh, nice.
and it's really good for doing like sidechain compression.
Oh, Yeah, audio plugins are The producing is a whole other animal in terms of like
Yeah.
gear acquisition because all the gear is like digital.
You don't own
Yeah,
it.
you can buy gear that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah. Or you can pay like $20 a month for the rest of your life. Yeah,
Do you want to own nothing, or do you want to be owned?
yeah, subscription.
Take your pick.
Yeah, but no, yeah, gear's a hard one for me. Like I love pedals. I love having like things to mess around with. I feel like it inspires me to like create things differently. But then there's like so many pedals on my board that I like.
Yeah. We should go to NAM one year.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
not the Battlefield, but the musician.
The musician conference with all the gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so sick. There's some heavy hitters that go there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some absolute like bosses on the guitar, but yeah, no, gear for me is a bit of a deep hole for me to fall under. So I try my best now to just learn to use what I have.
Yeah, you have a lot.
I have a lot, yeah, and I still haven't learned to use it all. So
And you get a lot of different sounds from it.
yeah, which is
Look at
good.
12 pedals right there.
12? Is that 12? No, it's not. Or that's 10.
1, 2, 3. Oh, 10.
Yeah, it's
Sure,
actually
there's more at home.
and two. One of them's a tuner and a volume pedal. So I'm just saying.
9.
But
Maybe the broken ones can shave it down to 8.
yeah. Probably not. I need to like refix that thing too as well. Yeah, having all those pedals, man, it's a bit of a minefield sometimes because you don't know when one's gonna go.
I gotta wrap soon. I don't know if you guys
You gotta wrap it up.
without me.
I think so. Seamus, thank you so much for coming on to the Jars Cast today.
This
The
was fun.
Jars cast.
We appreciate you. This is Behind the Jar.
This was good.
Any of your parting words for the audience?
Our album's coming out soon.
Ooh, what's it called?
We don't know when, but soon.
Someone of the Likes.
No.
Someone of the Likes coming out 2025.
Someone of something.
Hopefully.
Of the-
2025.
We hope.
Mark my words, please.
Yes, 2025.
Please, 2025.
I'm calling it right now. All right, Seamus, thank you so much, bro.
Bye, guys.